Hello, hello to all my wonderful listeners out there. I just wanted to take a second to let you know about my new Patreon page. Now, what is Patreon, you might ask? Well, it is a subscription platform that makes it easy for you to support your favorite creators, and in this case, your favorite true crime podcast. So, to check out our Patreon, please click the link in our episode description or in the bio of our Instagram account at Bitch I Can't Pod. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. We are here with another one of our little chicky tiki tiki, little tiny, itty bitty episodes, one of our mini-sodes, y'all. Today, I'm talking about something that is just, I don't know, I just didn't think this was a real thing. Like, I've kind of heard of a few cases. We're going to cover multiple stories in this little mini episodes because this apparently is a fucking thing. So let's get into this shit, y'all, because I can't. All right, guys, what are we talking about today? It's not funny. Let me just let me get my laughing out of the way because it is not funny. We're talking about people using deadly force over food and like leftovers and shit, which is fucking wild. I mean, I've been pissed when someone's like eaten my leftovers before, when I lived with my, siblings and stuff. I know that stress. I know that pain when you get to the refrigerator and your food's not there. Or when you see a box, that's the worst. When you see a box that like has food in it, like whether it's, I don't know, popsicles or whatever, something you really, really want, and you think one's in there and you find out that someone took the last one and left the fucking box in the goddamn cabinet or the goddamn fucking microwave, and you just want to go on a fucking like stabbing spree, but you don't actually do it. Well, the people we're talking about today let all of their intrusive thoughts win. They were like, listen, they literally chose violence. It's not funny because people did die. So, like, I'm not laughing at the cases. I'm just talking about them because they are absurd. And we're going to talk about it. So, the first case we're going to talk about happened in May of this year. And the headline is on NBCnews.com. Kentucky man accused of shooting roommate for eating last Hot Pocket. Yeah. A Kentucky man is accused of shooting his roommate who ate the last Hot Pocket. He's been charged. This is not funny. He has been charged with felony assault. The roommate, who has not been named, sustained non-life threatening injuries in the weekend shooting, according to the Louisville Metro Police Department. Clifton Williams, 64 years old, was arrested early Sunday and charged with second-degree assault, police said. On Monday, he pleaded not guilty, according to the NBC News affiliate Wave of Louisville. An attorney for Williams did not immediately respond to a request for comment. According to a police citation, the two roommates had a physical fight over the frozen sandwich. Is sandwich really spelled Sandwhich? I guess if you're being fancy, like sandwich. And also, who would call a Hot Pocket a sandwich? It is not a frozen sandwich. Or is it? Y'all, please comment and let me know if you think Hot Pockets are a sandwich. Anyways, Mr. Williams got mad. Mr. Williams got mad that he ate the last Hot Pocket, it states, and allegedly began throwing tiles at him. And him is his roommate. So he started throwing tiles. How you got loose tiles laying around your house that you could just toss at somebody? Okay. Okay. The victim attempted to fight back and threatened Williams, but he left, the document states. Williams got a gun and followed the roommate outside, where he shot him in the buttocks, the police document said. Williams is scheduled to be back in court on May 30th for a preliminary hearing. Under Kentucky law, a person convicted of second-degree assault conviction can be sentenced to up to 10 years in prison. The state defines a second-degree assault victim as someone who intentionally causes physical. Sorry, did I say victim? The state defines a second-degree assault convict as someone who intentionally causes physical injury to another person by means of deadly weapon or a dangerous instrument. Now, they have not gone to court yet for the sentencing, so I don't have details on this. I Googled it. I was not able to find them. If you can, let a bitch know. All right, so the next two are sad, but they are fucking bonkers, so I have to report it. But listen, so this is from Fox 32 Chicago from 2020, November 30th. Chicago man killed during fight over hands in Thanksgiving leftovers. All right. A Thanksgiving dinner guest stabbed a man to death after the victim questioned why he stuck his hands in the leftovers. At the end of a party on the South Side, after much drinking, James Dixon began to dig into the leftover food with his hands, upsetting the hosts of the party with his uncouth behavior. I mean, hello? Hello? Duh. The host's boyfriend, Vincel Jackson, tried escorting Dixon out the door. Dixon responded by sucker punching Jackson, sparking a fight between the two men. As the fight moved into the porch, a witness heard Jackson ask Dixon, "What are you reaching for?" Dixon then allegedly stabbed Jackson 9 times before running away. Dixon was arrested 8 hours later while seeking medical treatment for a laceration to his hand, according to the Chicago police. Officers allegedly found several knives on Dixon, including one covered in blood. Dixon claimed to the police that he fought Jackson, but claimed he was stabbed first, prosecutors said. The small laceration on Dixon's hand was consistent with a knife slipping from his hand while stabbing Jackson, prosecutors said, adding that the injury was so minor he didn't require medical attention. Now, Dixon was ordered he was held on a $350,000 bail for first-degree murder, and he has not been sentenced yet. That's fucking wild. But also, if you put your hands in my Thanksgiving leftovers, I'm gonna ask some questions too. Also, who invited him? Whose guest was he? Yikes. I mean, and not to be insensitive, because I'm sure that person feels like shit, whoever invited this man. But holy shit. All right, and on to our last story, which is sad and fucked up and crazy. I don't know if you guys all remember you have to, in 2019 when the Popeyes chicken sandwich came out and everyone lost their goddamn minds over that sandwich that was mid at best. Like it was fine. It was fine. It wasn't no Chick-fil-A. You know, that hatred just tastes so good in those chicken sandwiches. But the Popeyes release of that sandwich caused a fucking just the world turned upside down. And it's then we should have known that the world was going to end and like the pandemic was going to happen the next year because everything was just out of control. Like the world was just y'all needed to go in the house for a little while, especially after hearing this story. So this article opens with Maryland man found guilty in fatal stabbing at Popeyes over chicken sandwich line cutter, prosecutors say. Police said it took 15 seconds from when the altercation started to when the stabbing happened. A man charged with fatally stabbing another person who was cutting in line for Popeyes chicken sandwiches in Maryland in 2019 was found guilty of second-degree murder on Friday. Police say that Rico McLean, 32, stabbed the other man, Kevin Davis, 27, on November 4th at a Popeyes location in Ox Hill, about 20 minutes from Washington, D.C. This is back in 2019. Prince George County's police chief Hank Stawinski said Davis had been methodically cutting the line for the popular chicken sandwich, which had just been re-released, before McLean confronted him, leading to a dispute. So if you remember, they ran out, and then they did a re-release of these chicken sandwiches, and I guess the line was crazy. Homeboy is methodically cutting it. Someone confronts him, they have a dispute, and within 15 seconds, there's a dead man. So Stawinski said it took 15 seconds from when the altercation started to when the stabbing happened. McLean fled the scene after the incident. When officers arrived at the location, they found Davis in the parking lot with stab wounds, police told Fox News. Davis was transported to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. The attack occurred as a popular menu item prompted long lines at Popeyes locations across the country, which child we know. And McLean is sentenced, set to be sentenced. Actually, he has been sentenced. What did he get? I need to figure this out. I don't know. Got it. He was sentenced to 22 years in prison, which is fucking crazy, y'all. I mean, I understand being hangry, right? But today's stories have really just taken that to a different place. Two were hangry attacks, I believe. And then the Thanksgiving one, I think that was just outrage. And I'm sorry, but I would have been outraged as well. So, obviously, RIP to these victims, and not to be insensitive about their deaths, but these stories are fucking crazy. Like, you have to admit, it's wild. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you for listening once again to these little mini-sodes. Full episode is coming on Monday, so, just take a deep breath, y'all. It's on its way. Make sure you're subscribed on, what's that thing called? Spotify or Apple Podcasts, also to our YouTube channel. We have a Patreon, as you know, so the link for that will be in the episode notes, also in the bio on our Instagram account. So make sure that you are following all this shit. You are reviewing us on, or reviewing me rather, on Apple Podcasts. Yeah. And yeah, guys, until next week with the next mini-sode, we will talk about some other crazy shit. In the meantime, get into the long form stories that we've got coming out every Monday, and we'll talk soon. Bye.